This is the Ecwid e-commerce show with your host, Jesse Ness, along with Richard O'Tay.
What's going on, Richie?
It's that day. It's Friday.
It's a happy Friday. We're on video today, so for you people listening audio only, you can look at our smiling faces on YouTube, I guess. You know, I don't know if you really want
Or
to do
just stay listening on audio.
Yeah, okay. Do that. We're just a bunch of average-looking guys here, really. So, but anyway, enough about us here. So yeah, we get, we've had a nice little run here. We got another merchant on today, so we're always pumped about that. As we always tell everybody, like, literally what we would like to do with our lives is hang out with people selling online and, swap ideas and tips on how to improve it. And so we get to do that live and share it with all the people listening. So,
Yeah, and this is one of the unique ones we like. They come from different areas. Sometimes people are not a business owner at all, and they want to try. Maybe they do what Michael Gerber says, they have a entrepreneurial seizure or something, and they decide, I want to try something, and they jump right in. But in this case, we'll hear more about his origin story. He's had a business for a long time and is moving from the B2B space into the B2C space. And so it'll be interesting to hear that path and that story. And so, again, happens in many ways, shapes and forms and paths. So we just love hearing their stories.
Yeah, well, let's start hearing the story. Let's bring him on. Ken Dahlmeyer. Did I get that right?
You got it right. Well done, guys.
All right, perfect.
How are you?
Doing great. Yeah, how about you?
I'm doing great. Enjoying a lovely winter sort of gray kind of day in Illinois. And whenever we were doing the pre-thing, I saw you guys opening the window, and I thought, San Diego's not a bad place to be.
No, there's definitely worse places to call home.
Yeah. Today is one of those days, too, where, I think it's going to hit 80 degrees today.
Yeah, I hate you all.
Yeah,
I hate you all. So, just laying that out.
Yeah. Oh, we'll take that. We pay the sunshine tax, just FYI.
Yeah.
But,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, Ken, what does getting to how you got started here. So,
Sure.
Where did you start? How did you start this thing?
Sure. So Prairie Melody started about a year ago to provide pesticide-free birdseed to backyard birders. Our mission statement really is every backyard can make a difference, and this gives people a way to help out the environment, bring nature back into their living space. On our kind of our parent side, we have a grain company, Clarkson, and we do primarily non-GMO and organic grain for food.
Okay.
Some of our favorite chips and things like that, tortillas and that very often have Clarkson grain in them, and that's awesome. One of the things we want to be able to do is support our growers going from conventional into organic grains, and so we needed to have a way to help them make that transition and provide a little different of a view. So what we've done is we've started a birdseed business. It helps us go B2C. It helps us learn a lot of these pieces. And that journey has been exciting. We've had a lot of fun with it. And Ecwid has been a big part of that. And I'm thrilled to be on and kind of introduce everybody to the brand and some of our story. This is going to be kind of the remedial Ecwid podcast, I think, is how it's going to turn out.
I think you might be surprised that. So we want to hear some real, tips and advice from you. Now, even coming from, you had like a big legitimate business prior to this. This isn't like it's not that small. So, kind of starting even further back with Clarkson Grain, was it always were you always in the organic grain business? Because it's sort of, it's not that new, but it has been blowing up in the past few years.
So we were one of the first to kind of get into that business. We've been in it since the late 90s.
Okay.
And so one of the pioneers, we helped to write the rules, and now we're into a space to where it's uh, we're trying to take that next step and go direct to consumer.
Got it. And so you mentioned helping farmers make the transition. So these are, this is Southern Illinois, so I imagine it's soybeans and corn, right? Like, yeah.
Yep. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
We have the largest set of sunflower fields in Illinois, I think. So about for people to kind of understand, about a quarter of a mile by a quarter of a mile is 160 acres, and we have two or three of those fields, and they're really stunning whenever they come into flower.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've driven by it. It is really beautiful to see a field just completely full of sunflowers. So,
and the surprising thing to me was as we go in and we take some Instagram pictures and show, one of the stories that we told through the year was, little bitty plants to larger plants to to flower. I would go out and I would take some of the pictures, and the field would literally be buzzing, because sunflowers are pollinated primarily by bees and different insects, and so that was something that I just really didn't understand, didn't know, and it was to hear all of that activity and all that life going around was exciting. And then you hear the airplanes off in the distance, and you think, well, they're not going to come into here because that's that's part of the production. That's the whole that's how we differentiate in the market.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, I didn't think the discussion about birdseed was going to lead to some Instagram friendly stories, but yeah.
But I need to do stories. I need to learn how to do that instead of just posts.
Yeah. No, I mean and boy, a background of a bunch of sunflowers is really
it's stunning.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Stunning.
Yeah. So we'll work on your Instagram game.
Yep.
Good to know. and yeah, I saw. So the end product is primarily it's sunflower seeds is really
correct.
That's the product. Okay.
Correct.
So
as we say, non-pesticide, pesticide free, no neonicotinoid sunflowers, and primarily for birdseed. The funny thing is people go into birdseed and then they think, well, maybe this would be something my backyard chickens would like. And so it gets into chicken treats, and people will grow them for microgreens. And we have people in Alaska who purchase our sunflower seeds for microgreens in the wintertime. So it's a lot of things.
So it ends up in a lot of different places. So
it does.
Yeah. Now I don't have a backyard bird feeder. I'm gonna just admit right now. So
okay. We can help you with that.
All right, yeah, I like
that has one.
I like that. Yeah, we'll get this. I saw the products. All right, I like it. We'll get me a coupon code at the end of this.
There you go. Yeah, we'll do a coupon code.
Yeah. So now our sunflower seeds, kind of is that for all types of birds? Is it a particular type of bird that's attracted to that?
Sure. Sunflower seeds are more for like the cardinals and the grosbeaks, the finches, and that sort of thing. What it discourages is are the sparrows and the starlings and things that oftentimes people don't particularly care to have at their bird feeders. And so that's for me, it's helpful because that's kind of part of what I enjoy are the specific types of birds that we can bring in.
Awesome. So we wanted to bring in the right kind of birds here, and now we don't want to be poisoning them with pesticides and whatnot. So
correct.
Yeah. Now, I mean, obviously, for myself, we buy organic milk and bananas and such. Now, for birds, is there any type of I don't know, studies or such about obviously pesticides are not good for birds. We could probably start with that, but is there any more scientific basis in that, or Rich, help me out with my question here. What am I trying to ask?
You've got a good question.
Okay.
Nope, you're good.
Okay.
There are several. There's a growing body of of scientific knowledge now that certain types of pesticides, the neonicotinoids, have been coming under pressure here lately. That at high dose and as well as at low dose are showing a detrimental effect to not only pollinators, the bees and things, but also at low dose with migratory birds. So um, whenever those types of studies hit the popular press, we get a lot of spike, we get a lot of interest.
Hmm.
One of the interesting parts about Prairie Melody is, and we used Amazon for this to to understand where people were interested in us, because you can figure it out and put it up on a map. And it's not a coasty thing. It's not a nor is it really a northern thing in the wintertime. Matter of fact, we sold a few bags just recently around your area. So for those of you who don't have winter, there's still people who'd like to have birds come into their backyard. And so it's not really geographically segregating, and it helps us to understand that whole market better.
Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, makes sense. I knew at a basic level, pesticides bad, organic good, right? And yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
obviously there's more to it, but I wanted to
there's more
hear.
to it than that. Yeah,
Yeah, I wanted to hear the details on it, so I appreciate that. And
it's a good way for us to differentiate ourselves in the market. Otherwise, you're selling a commodity,
yep,
and then it's a price driver.
yep. And speaking of price here, so how much more does it cost to buy organic versus non-organic for your
Sure.
product?
Very often it's not quite 2x. It's probably 1.7, 1.5, 1.7 times the price of just standard commodity. But we have to clean it very, very well. We have to do a lot of things to make sure that the insects don't get into it, because nobody likes to open up a product, whether it be bird seed or anything else, and have things that you don't expect in there. In the case of a grain, you don't want to open it up and have a whole bunch of moths coming up at you. People don't, for some reason I don't understand,
Yeah.
don't particularly like that. So we have to put more into it. It has to be a very high quality product, and you can't just fumigate it to get rid of the insects and the things you really don't want to have in there. So it's a premium product. The thing that we've learned is, this type of product for the merchants is not all about price. Whenever you start to think about a social value type of a product, or um, that trying to get into that type of a market, it's not as price sensitive. Even on even on Amazon and some of the other platforms uh, that are known for low price, you can still have reasonable success in that marketplace.
Makes perfect sense. I mean, people that want birds in their backyard are probably going to be more likely to be sensitive to organic products and paying for the quality. Like, it's particularly when it's not $100 versus $150. We're talking, $5 instead of $350, or
Right,
these are
right,
fairly minimal prices
right.
at that
It's
level.
something, and one of the stores that we just had our first big order, and it was really exciting. Um, and it was a chain of, so it was 99 cent only, and they are a value store kind of down where you all are, down in the Southwest. And their objective was, they challenged us on price a bit, but the reason they wanted to do that was so that their clientele, their customers, could engage in an environmental awareness in their space and at a price point they could afford. So we worked we worked with them, and we found a way to package a 1 pound pack of our bird seed and we used a group here in Central Illinois. We contracted with a group here in Central Illinois that provides job opportunities to mentally and physically challenged individuals. And so it was uh, without that challenge from 99 Cent, we wouldn't have found Macon Resources. And without having Macon Resources, we just couldn't have done it in the way that we did. So it was it was awesome. I mean, it pushed all of the levers and all of the reasons why we're really in this business. You know, um, it provided a premium product to folks who may not always expect a premium product, but it allowed them to engage in uh, an environmental cause, and we were able to bring job experience and jobs to 16 individuals who normally wouldn't have had that opportunity. It was exciting. You walk in, and as they were packaging the material, I mean, they would just light up. The folks who would do it, they just light up. Hey, Mr. Dahlmeyer, how are you? Can I do birdseed today? And when are you going to bring me some more? And all of that. It was awesome. It was if you were having a bad day at the office, you went into town and watched them do that, and it was exciting. So we took a video and we put it on YouTube, put it on our blog, and it was it was great. It was awesome.
Great to hear. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you get, you have a big sale and
Yeah.
probably not making the margin you would have liked to make. So you have to figure out a way to deliver the product. And,
Yep.
that opened up this great opportunity
It
for,
was. It was a great opportunity for everybody.
yeah, awesome. Awesome
Yeah.
to hear. So, yeah, I mean, I think what's interesting here is that, a lot of, like Rich had mentioned during our intro here, a lot of our customers, they start online. You
Hmm.
started with really B2B business, moving into B2C, but you started at retail first. So you started on, selling to brick and mortar, and then you
Yes.
mentioned some of the marketplaces. So kind of give us, I don't want to prompt you here. I don't want to prompt you too
How'd that
much.
go? Huh?
Yeah, give our listeners like, hey, how was it selling on these marketplaces?
Um, well, it was jumping in the pool in the deep end. Honestly, it was. Um, we were able to leverage some of the things that we do normally, which is shipping and that sort of thing. But it also allowed us to raise that level a bit, because then you're working with the electronic document interchanges, the EDIs, and you're working with different um, different at a different scale. So it was at first it was really quite challenging, and so that's what we had to learn. And then now as we we bring some of those learnings into our into the core business, um, we're able to take some of those platforms, some of those EDI platforms, and engage it with our especially with our international customers, that it helps us be much more efficient back and forth with some of the documents and some of the other pieces, and how we deal with time zones. Um, but it was yeah, it was a bit of a challenge. We have as sunflowers, you plant them in the spring, you harvest them in the fall, and then you have a whole wall locker full of inventory. um, and and so Jesse, you understand what a wall locker is. You're from the Midwest. So I mean, so you have a whole bunch of inventory. So now you've got this inventory to sort through. You can't piecemeal in, piecemeal out. And so some those were also some of the pieces around how do you deal with the big platforms? How do you think about inventory? How do you ship? Our advantage was we already knew what an LTL meant, what those three letters mean, and how to engage and do some of those things. But there was a lot of those pieces around. Um, okay, you now have this product. What margin do you really need? Do you need to sell a whole bunch at small margin? Do you need to sell a few at a larger margin? How do you deal with all of those pieces?
And I think one of the challenges is, I don't remember the exact timeline there, but you were just starting in the process of building the brand. So here you are in a big marketplace where it's mostly looked at as a commodity on the marketplace, and they don't know you're wanting to give back. They don't know the legacy story, the lifetime story. And I can't remember, what was the tagline again? You said something about helping change the world one backyard at a time, or what?
Right. Every backyard makes a difference.
Yeah, there you go. So they don't know that yet in the marketplace, and they're just
Right.
seeing a $7 one and a $2 one. They're like, well, I want the $2 one, or whatever the
Obviously,
price is. Right?
absolutely. So we had to. So on our, on our front page of our product, we had to really think about what does that bag look like, and how does a picture tell why it's different. And so we designed our designed our packaging like that. Took a little bit for Amazon to accept that package, as its front page, because it's got a little bit too much stuff on it. But once they understood it, that's also why we chose Ecwid, frankly, because it could integrate into our Wix site quite simply. And we needed that content site to tell the story. So once we, for the most part, once people go into the site and start, bopping through the site, they get educated, they understand. Now then it's a matter of how do we efficiently, do the transaction. And that's where, that was the integration. Now we're trying to figure out, okay, how do we do that even more efficiently, but even better yet.
Yeah, one of the things, I don't know where you want to head with it, Jess, but we could probably talk to you forever, because my parents started one of the first health food stores out here, so I totally get the organic, and there's just so many ways we could go. But we really want to add value back to you. We always try to do that with the merchants. And so I don't know if you have any additional questions, or if you want to go into some suggestions or questions
Yeah, I think I want to, we mentioned marketplaces. So for the listeners, I want to make sure, we mentioned marketplaces in EDI, and so Ken, I appreciate that. For the listeners, though, we're talking about selling on Amazon. And where else did you sell? What other marketplaces?
So we are just getting our feet wet now with Chewy.com, with Walmart.com, a couple of other of the other .coms. We're also in some of the local bricks and mortar stores, which are great. They're my canary in the coal mine. We love our bricks and mortar stores.
Yeah,
and they'll give it to me straight up, and I said, "Nah, this isn't working."
Yep.
Or I need more of that, or whatever. So
Jeff Bezos is not going to call you and tell you what's not working on Amazon.
Yeah, if you get an email like that, that's not a happy day.
Yeah, it's usually not good.
Yeah. The other thing that we like to do is we like to do fundraisers to help support Audubon societies, FFA chapters, 4-H clubs. Pretty much anybody kind of tired of the usual magazine and wrapping paper drag. And we were able to use Ecwid we were able to use the options tab in the packet in the product page, so that we had multiple fundraisers, and they could click which fundraiser to get it to send it to.
Okay.
That was actually one of the things that I utilized within Ecwid that I couldn't find other places, and it was helpful.
Wow. By the way, actually, I even have an idea for you here that I didn't think of before. If you have somebody that has a bigger fundraiser and they want to have it on their website, it would be fairly easy to have give them their own instance of an Ecwid store, and they could have it on their particular site. So then they don't go to the website. So
okay, so I'm gonna write that one down.
Yeah, like you could just you only have 2 or 3 products for them. Maybe they increase the price a little bit and put it on their website, and then that way. Anyway, that's just an option for you if they're particularly on the bigger ones, because there's a little bit of work there, but not too much.
What makes it nice is the website does all of the taxes and does all of those things, so that the person running the fundraiser, all they have to do is kind of announce it, and and coordinate final delivery, and that's about all that's all they need to do.
Yep.
So it works out well.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it's a good usage of that. I mean, I know there's a little bit of margin built in there too, which you need for fundraisers. Like everybody.
Absolutely.
You're not doing this for fun, everybody. Like you do, the fundraiser. There has to be margin in order for these to work. So, so that's good. Yeah, we could keep talking about marketplaces, but I like the feedback there that you gave. That like, hey, yeah, it wasn't that easy. And the first time you dive into the PDFs you get from Amazon on how you got to pack up a pallet, it is, it's mind-numbing the first time. So just everybody listening, be prepared. And, you just read it, and if you want to make it, you got to follow the rules, and you do what they tell you,
And Amazon's the same, Chewy is the same way, Walmart's the same way. They've got their own process, and that's how it goes. And packing pallets, some of them will, certain heights, and that's as far as you can go. Of course, weights are a thing. And with birdseed, we're big and heavy as opposed to widgets, which are small and light. So we do have to pay attention.
Yep. So you powered through, love it. And for people listening, it's not always going to be easy. Amazon has rules. Too bad,
Yeah, that's and they really that's not their deal.
Yeah.
It's like we have rules. This
Yeah.
is how it goes.
For sure. So now we're going to kind of shift over to the website here to kind of give people some ideas. And I think it's good for Rich and I to kind of go into this because you started on marketplaces, and I think we can give some advice on the website, and kind of a way to improve it. Kind of first thing we noticed here, when we go to your homepage, it's hard. I don't know what to do next. So there's actually I just clicked on it right now. So I
can
figured
see
it.
that because I've got the
Yeah. So when I get there the first time, I see I didn't know where to go. Right now, I clicked on it and I'm like, okay, yeah, now I get it. We got the header and I see the online store and the about. So there's just one click that some people might not get. Yeah, they might not think, what do I do? And I see the free sample. That's great, but then you might be just giving out free samples instead of people buying the 5-pound bag. So just a thought there. But I mean, it's a good looking. The pictures are nice, right? You're starting out at a good spot. I'm just giving a.
No, that's great. That's great.
Now, when I go into the online store, you've probably heard our podcast or thought about shipping deeply. So we're gonna talk about shipping, unfortunately, a little bit here.
You're absolutely right.
And so your product is heavy, and it even has volume to it. So it's not a T-shirt you can throw in an envelope and ship cheaply and free. I guess let me ask this: how much does it cost to ship an average package? I'm looking at there's a 2.75 pound clear bag, and then there's the 5 pound. What does that cost to ship? And of course, I know it depends on how fast and where you live. But
actually, so say for me in Illinois to ship it out to the West Coast, the best way for me to do that for our small packages is the post office.
Okay.
Because they have flat rate shipping.
Yep.
Now the 40-pound bag, that's a different matter. You're not going to crunch a 40-pound bag into a flat rate shipping box. So we wound up having to charge shipping. There's no such thing as free shipping. And so that makes it, a little bit simpler, because we charge a flat rate for that. We pay a little bit more if it goes to the West Coast. We get a little bit back if it stays close. So it sort of does even out.
Sure.
But to your point, and as I was looking through it, everything needs to be flat or free shipping. Okay, just make it that way. The platforms have all got free shipping, and we need to follow suit.
Yeah,
we've been kind of trained by that.
We have.
Yeah, and it's not fair, right? You said there's no such thing as free shipping. I agree.
Yeah.
It's not.
It should
not
be
fair.
called baked-in shipping.
Yeah. It's baked-in shipping, and I mean, there's two options here. I get it because if somebody buys, and just for people listening here, I'm looking, there's Prairie Melody. It's a 2.75 clear bag of black oil sunflower birdseed, $4.99. So shipping is probably $5 in a flat rate, right? Was that
$8? Yeah.
$8, yeah. So clearly you can't spend $8 on shipping and lose $3 before you've bought one bird seed, one
one
seed
package.
Here. Yeah. So I get that it can't be free across the board, or maybe you can't really charge 13 for that. But I think maybe a happy medium here is to have free shipping at a trigger price, right? Like say it's $30 or $50, or like that's kind of up to you, and that's for everybody listening too. That is up to you to figure out that price. Like it's not at $5 probably because it costs $8 to ship, or no matter what, you're always in for $5 of shipping. I mean, there's nothing really less than $5 for shipping.
No, not so much.
Yeah.
No.
So, maybe I'm just guessing, like maybe it's $25, $30, and that sort of matches what Target would be. Amazon, if you're not on Prime, I think is, what is it, $25 now?
$25, yep.
Yeah. So maybe that's a number for you that people come to expect too. Even the people that are on Prime and expect, their toothbrush delivered in 1 hour for free. But sorry, we're all stuck on that.
We're
one.
all that way. Yeah. I mean, I'm the same way. It's like, oh man, 2 days, really?
Yeah. And then you on the merchant side, you're like, man, okay, that's really expensive to get it there, But anyway, that's just a thought of like I could see $25 or $30 as a price where, and the advantage of that is that for the people that are buying the $4.99 bag, when they see shipping is X amount of dollars, they're like, well, I could just buy the $25 version and get it for free. Like they might do that math and increase their basket size.
You do the math pretty quick. It's like, all right, I'll just get a 40-pound bag.
Yep.
And we're all in.
Yep. And part of the reason I say that is that you have certain products that have free shipping baked in, and you have free shipping in the name of the product where
Correct.
And then, so I get it, by the way, it's not a criticism. It's just, now when I see the 5-pound bag is now $19.99, but it should be twice as much as the $4.99, but I get it includes free shipping. So, you may,
it's confusing.
It's a little confusing.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. So, just something I see is like, that could be an improvement to help increase basket size and just kind of, you want to remove confusion from a customer when if they're confused, they're going to bounce, they're going to leave,
Right. The other thing that I wish we could do is since we have both on our bird seed side and our chicken feed side, they're consumable and they consume at a pretty normal rate. Mm-hmm. And I've had people ask, well, can we subscribe and save, which is one of the things that Chewy does really quite well. That's something I don't know how to do.
Yeah,
I guess with Ecwid, because they just want it to show up on their doorstep once every 3 weeks. Everybody's happy. I've already given you my and for us, the northern customers generally will slow down bird feeding after the snow melts. Now our southern customers, of course, it never snows, so they're much more constant. But that helps us to not see that cycle.
Yep.
Is there a way to make my Ecwid store subscribe and save so that all 3 weeks you just go with it?
Yep. We're gonna have to take you offline for that one because it's depends on what you use for a payment. It depends on the amount of how you want the subscription to work. So absolutely, I get the business reason is for sure. You want to do this. We want to get subscriptions going, but the how-to is a little bit more than we can do on a podcast because it depends on payment and a couple other things. But yeah, I think you're on the right track there. That's a great way to go.
Well, and one of the things I was going to say real quick, because I know we're limited on time, we got another podcast coming up, but we definitely will reach out to you for more because we wanted to hear the origin story a little bit more, the backstory. It's a unique case, the path that you took, so we definitely wanted to cover that. but we could probably talk to you for 2 more hours on certain things. So,
Absolutely.
Yep.
you know, I would just really want to throw out a couple, one super fast question and then a couple ideas. So where does most of your traffic come from now? Do you have Google Analytics that shows you that?
Yes, I do. It comes direct, either direct or through organic.
Got it. So someone probably sees this in the brick and mortar store or hears the story somewhere else and just goes directly to your website.
Right.
Or
right.
they see it on Amazon and they Google it, right? So
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
So they want to learn more. Why is this more expensive?
Yep.
Got it. So that's actually where I was going to go. The 2 quick suggestions were I would make some sort of video on your site that they see right away that tells that story. And that story can be used in multiple places. It doesn't have to only live on your site. So I think just somebody who's looking this up somewhere else that you don't have the time. If a picture says 1,000 words, then how many words does a video say, especially if you can keep it. And then secondarily, it would definitely make sure, and we'll talk to you more offline, but get that Instagram integrated more and probably do more contests, because this is unbelievable opportunity for user-generated content for you. Having your customers taking pictures of birds
right?
in their backyards is, you know, it's not going to have as great appeal because you never know, but just getting them involved. You know, some of them could have an ugly backyard, but it doesn't matter. They're interested in helping out.
There's no such thing as an ugly backyard.
Yeah.
You know
Especially if
what I'm
there's
saying.
birds in there, and like now with the Instagram thing, you can tag that post with your product so people can go there. And I think that starts to tell the story, because I'm gonna refer back. You had mentioned you kind of had the like the brand story and message. So we want to help you bring that out to the front of the site, and all those sales you get from Amazon and the marketplaces, you want them to buy from your website. So
Absolutely.
you know, like you say, you're not paying that fee, and we can get the subscription going. And so anyway, I want to wrap it up here with Rich. Like I
said, there's no last questions, but we will definitely be in touch. You have so many opportunities, and we love that there's just so many elements of giving back. Even the pun of with the better food, the birds will be giving back to the environment a better bird, you know what. So we'll be in touch with you, and we'll let you know when the episode comes out, and look forward to talking with you more.
Fantastic. Sounds great. Thank you very much, guys, for the attention. We really appreciate it.
Awesome, Ken. Really appreciate it. Hope the listeners gather something from it. Get out there and make it happen.
Hey, this is Jesse and Rich. We want to let you know we really appreciate you listening.
We hope you find the tips we give you helpful for growing your business.
You can find all of our past episodes and a lot more useful stuff at ecwid.com/podcast.
And also, check us out on your favorite podcasting platform like Apple Podcast or Stitcher. And make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing.
Be sure to let us know what you think by rating and reviewing so we can serve you better.
So subscribe on your favorite platform.
And come join our community, check out the transcripts, or tell us why you would be a great guest at ecwid.com/podcast.